Howdy howdy, and welcome to the Tea Weasel, where we pair teas with movies. Today we'll be looking at
제시카 외동딸 일리노이 시카고 과선배는 김치모 그는 네 사촌.
That's right, you guessed it, 2020's Parasite, the first foreign movie to win Best Motion Picture at the Oscars. This Korean movie is fantastic. It's written well, creepy, and keeps you in suspense the entire time. The parallels between the two families are drastic, and they are portrayed without even saying anything, only using camera work. But before we dive into the movie, let's talk tea.
To make the dalgona, simply add 1 cup of water to a pan and bring it to a boil. Add either 5 bags or 15 grams to the mixture and let it steep for the appropriate amount of time for that tea. Once it's done steeping, remove the tea and add 1 cup of sugar, brown sugar. Let that reduce into a syrup with this consistency. While that is reducing, you can start making a meringue out of 2 egg whites. Once it's nice, fluffy, and has stiff peaks, and your syrup is reduced, slowly pour in the syrup to not scramble your egg whites. For the vegan option is very similar. Make the tea syrup exactly the same way you did. But for the meringue, you're going to actually be making an aquafaba. This is how. To make this, take a can of chickpea and strain the fluids into the bowl and remove all hard particles. Let it whip. Let your sand mixer whip it into a nice fluffy concoction until stiff peaks. Pour in the syrup just like you did with the meringue. And there you go. A vegan dalgona. Once stiff peaks are reached, pour yourself a glass of milk or vegan milk and add your dalgona to the top. I have made this a few times, and every single time after the dalgona has sit, the liquid does separate a little bit. But you can either mix that in or pour it on top of your drink, and it'll still taste delicious.
Just make sure it is a spoiler-proof cup, because we're about to talk about this movie. If you haven't seen 2020's Parasite, why? Seriously, we were locked indoors for a year. This won Best Motion Picture at the Oscars. Why haven't you seen this yet? Those of you that haven't seen it and probably aren't going to go see it, let me brush through it real quickly. A family slowly intrudes into another family's house. The other family is super rich, while the intruding family is super poor. And then the poor family finds a nuclear bunker inside the house where the old housekeeper's husband stays, trying to hide from debt collectors. The old housekeeper dies, the husband goes crazy, bludgeons a kid on the head with a giant rock. Stabs a daughter. Gets shish kebabbed. Then the dad stabs the rich dad and then hides in the nuclear bunker that no one else knows exists. You might think I skipped a lot, but did I? That's basically what happens this entire movie. The story of the family we follow It's about them trying to survive in this world without any money. Their house is a low frame shot the entire time. They have to look up to look through a window versus the richer family, which has a giant window wall. It's beautiful, but I wouldn't want to live there. Too see-through, too breakable. And in case you think I'm looking into it too much about, it framing higher class and lower class, look none other than this scene. Yeah, see what I mean? It's literally rich people having foreplay as poor people, while poor people are hiding underneath their table with a downshift camera. Yeah. And then there's this, where we literally watch the family ascend into their house. And this, where we watch them descend into their house. This may be a dramatization of it because the plot needs it to be, but the concepts are there. It doesn't really seem to be making either one an antagonist though. Sure, the richer family thinks lower of people in poverty, but they also have their issues that they struggle with. And the poorer family constantly belittles the family and lifestyle of those richer people. No one in this movie is particularly a good person, yet you find yourself kind of rooting for the underdogs, for that family to become successful, because that is what we can relate to more of being in poverty than not having to worry about money. Even the ending itself is a fantasy of the son rescuing his dad and the nice house. Does it happen? Probably not. This movie is great. I loved it. The dialogue, acting is on point. The camera work is fantastic. Between Parasite and K-pop, Korean culture has become more and more popular in most societies. And being raised off of the show MASH, I'm in it. Anyways, until next tea time, watch a movie and have a relaxing cup of tea.